Hi, I'm Joshua Hayward, Breath of Life School here in Yellow Springs, Ohio. And thanks for joining me today. And today it's kind of exciting because we're initiating a new series. And this is like an astro-informative series. And we're calling it America. Who the bleep are we? Pretty relevant question, considering the turn of events that we're witnessing and experiencing here in this country, in this nation today, collectively, individually. It's a good time to lock in and say, well, what's the real basis here? So, of course, being an astrologer, we'll look into the natal chart of the astrology of the United States, who we were at our inception, and then kind of dial it back forward in this series is to catch back up with where we're at, today and during these times of amazing turmoil and conflict with amazing potential to rebirth and to become something maybe that we actually intended. Okay, so I'm foreshadowing a little bit, just saying that maybe we got a little bit away from our original intent. So, go figure, it's a big country. Individuals have a difficult enough time staying on track. Just the Republic of Joshua, trying to keep him on track, that's hard enough, But then when we start looking at the country, there's so many moving parts to us, we're a bit unwieldy. But we do have the advantage of having a natal chart. We were born consciously. Many nations around the world are so old that their roots are lost, and they don't really have a chart. We actually, coming in I wouldn't say modern times, but coming into a place where we actually came together consciously, drew up a charter, established a constitution. Okay, so that was in 1976, the 4th of July. So let's take a look at that natal chart. And we're just going to proceed from there and then eventually move to where we're at right now. And so we can kind of see where we're at right now in regards to what we started off doing. All right, and we lose track of that. So this is a very relevant type of series that I think puts things in a place where we can more consciously wake up to who we are individually, but as a nation, yes, okay? And so who the bleep are we, and then what the bleep are we doing? Okay, so I know you can relate to that. So when you look at the United States chart, and I'm going to be talking about it in bits and pieces. It's too much to talk about in one video, the whole thing. But let's start with the south node of the moon, which has Pluto really close to it. That's like the roots. The south node of the moon in a natal chart of an individual would have to do with where that person was in their previous lifetime. So let's look at us as a nation, right? Okay, and the premise is that we were Rome in a past lifetime. Now, that might not be a totally unfamiliar concept to you because it's been floating around. I hold it to be true. It really works, and especially, just look at it as a story at least, so give the premise a bit, let me develop that. And I think you'll be rewarded if you do, all right. So, south node of the moon in Aquarius. And Rome tried to be an enlightened nation or republic. It had an intention to start with, like the United States. Of course, a long time ago. There were two factions that were involved. There was the warlike or the warrior-like kind of part of it in order to establish it as an empire and to be imperialistic and to protect itself. Of course, military might and strength was a very important part of that whole thing. Some people might say, it was really dominant, and that could be true. But there was the Roman Senate. And the Roman Senate did have at least pretensions towards enlightenment and some kind of a conscious way of living, not being ruled by one central person like a monarch, but there was a Senate there, okay? And so that set up the whole principles of what we developed into our Senate. We use the same word, okay? And so there is a link there. Now, we also have, with that south node, the north node of the moon is in Leo, because Leo is opposite Aquarius. And so where we're going, our attention in this country is to move into leadership and creativity, strength of will, all of that kind of thing. And that would be in the 8th house. You know, really, the 8th house has got to do with war, it's got to do with resources, it's got to do with death and rebirth and that whole thing. Keeping in mind that the United States has an 8th house solar energy, our sun is there too. So we have a strong identity in power, the power of the 8th house. And so we're a powerhouse leader. That's where we're going. Very similar trajectory for Rome. I'm hoping that we don't end up like Rome. I think that we have a chance to rebirth our country right now. And that's kind of the theme that's going to be running through this particular series. So who the bleep are we? Where the bleep are we going? All right? All right. So when Pluto is in a conjunction, and our Pluto is in late Capricorn, but it's still pretty close, within a nice conjunction to the United States south node of the moon. All right? When Pluto is close to the south node, it indicates skip steps in evolution. Okay, or possibly a do-over, depending on how things have, how things really transpired in a natal chart of an individual. In this chart, we have a chance to do that rebirth once again. We're here doing those skip steps. We're supposed to birth out enlightenment. We are supposed to learn how to get along with each other. We're here to be world leaders of a country that can overcome all odds and achieve equality, okay? And so, all right, so this is a really important part to start off with these videos, with this Astro Initiative series here. It's because now we're laying it out, who we are and where we're going. Now, I have mentioned in other videos and in my writings, my words for the day, which are to be found in Facebook on my personal page and also on Breath of Life school page as well. I've been writing about Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter coming conjunct. I've been talking about this for years before it even happened. Okay, they're all like moving, they're right on a conjunction to the United States Pluto. So what might that mean? Oh, maybe we're at a time where we can pay attention to those skip steps, or what we need to do over, what do we need to do? The second house is where we're talking about this stuff here. So we're supposed to, second house has to do with value systems, and it has to do with money and economy and other things that are really important to us. It's a Taurian type of house. And so when we get Pluto return to the United States, which we're in right now, it's a rebirth of our values. And what we're seeing right now is a major conflict about value systems. Not only Democrats and Republicans, it's not just about blue and red and all of that stuff. This is an international flavor. This is like really kind of the first country where people were supposed to learn how to get along with one another. Other countries weren't actually designed for that. But when you think about it, our Constitution was actually specifically designed for that. And so here we are, and the disparity between values is so great that we are at our knees as a nation right now. So we need to take a look at that whole thing. And this is a death rebirth. It's as if we're dying and being reborn. But let's also look at it as if, like, maybe we're going to actually succeed where Rome failed. and we can actually pull this stuff together and have a country that really works. That's emotion, not I was going to say emotionally. I actually meant it economically, but yeah, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, intellectually, all of this stuff. We can pull this together and make us a nation that actually works together and that actually works. We can do that if we take what's going on right now. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, as it came and conjuncted our Pluto, and I predicted the crisis from way back, over 2 years before COVID-19 happened. I said that stuff was going to happen. I wasn't quite sure exactly what it was going to look like, but I did predict this. And so now here we are, something that's revealed to us. It's very important that we need to take a look at value systems and begin to find a way to be able to live together. Jupiter is here to say, look, the information, the inspiration, that's here too. We got death, we got restructuring, Pluto, Saturn, but we also have Jupiter saying, look, we've got what it takes to be able to change things. So let's do it. All right, so yes, we're beginning to move in a tremendous direction with that triple conjunction, especially emphasizing Saturn and Pluto, because Jupiter is a faster moving planet. But it's still kind of, it's all there. Let's mention one more thing, and that would be that the wounded healer in Chiron, and I'm going to be speaking about that more in the next video, but the wounded healer just stationed in Aries, and it's stationed on a sextile to the south node of the moon of the United States, and it also stationed on a trine to the north node, that Leo, boldly going forth, where no country and no Rome has gone before. Okay, and so there's a healing direction in our identity from the fourth house, saying that we need to change our identity as a nation and to change who we actually are. And we're on trajectory to move forward. Another thing that's happening right now, and I'm going to be addressing this in the next videos to come as well, and that is that Uranus is on a square angle. I just mentioned Chiron as a sextile and trine angle to the nodal axis. Well, I'm sorry, Uranus is on an actual square. Okay, so take 2 points. Here's the south node, here's the north node, here's Uranus, the planet of change and empowerment, in the sign of Taurus, which is about value systems and money and economy and all that kind of stuff. Squaring us, saying that we're in a crisis. Even with that, even without the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, we are in a crisis of change, of where are we going to move? Are we going to go back into the Dark Ages, or are we going to move forward? And Uranus is going to station on August 15th, and will be some future video stuff about that. There are many other angles of stuff pushing us towards change in a positive way, to where we can rediscover our roots. But we can't go back to the founding fathers. Think about this for a minute. We deify all that stuff in a way, and it's just like, yes, this is great stuff for us to work with. Wow, let's be grateful for that. But we can't go back. We have to reinvent that Constitution a little bit and update it as to who we actually are right now. But we can stay in the spirit of being Americans, of this being a country. Or not. And it just depends on, where we're going to go and what actually happens. And certainly this is a spiritual crisis, and it's up to spirit in a way, but spirit wants us to work, or we wouldn't be here in these bodies. We wouldn't be doing this stuff. We need to work on this stuff. That's how we grow. That's how we become more whole. And as we become more whole, we can create a more whole country. I'm thinking that we're going to end this video right here, and we're going to move on to the next one. And I want to move on to talking about our natal Chiron in Aries in the 4th house, and a little bit more about that nature, and go back to Rome, and maybe even talk a little bit about Greece and stuff like that, you know, so we can really get a viewpoint. There is something that's been left out is history. You know, we need to bring back history and facts and science and spirituality. All of this needs to come back and be powerful, so we'll have some way, you know, something that will really inspire us and guide us, you know, and something that we can look back and see what our context is. And as we remember that, we can remember who we are, and we can make decisions really clearly about who we are and what we want to do. If this is appealing to you as you watch this video, consider subscribing to the channel here, because we're going to be building and growing. In Breath of Life, we're really stepping forth, and we want to be one of the agents of change. We want to be here to support forward movement and evolution. So hit the like button if you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know, hit the unlike button. But have some fun with us, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.